people been asking me back and forth, like, hey man, what's your setup looking like? You know, what kind of rod, what reel, what pound test you're running, like, you know, why don't you make a video on like what you run? I said, man, I've never done that, but since I got them right here next to me, I got a few of my setups. Might as well just show you guys. This one right here. This is one of my go-tos. You know, I went through buying a whole shitload of rods and reels and spent a whole lot of money left and right, and finally figured it out, you know. I like fishing the Abyss. This is the 806. And I got it right here paired up with the Penn Fathom 15 LD. And you guys have probably seen it in a lot of the videos that I've posted. This is one of the rods you'll see in almost all my videos. This right here is only running 20 pound. I think it's P-line. Yeah, it's P-line, the ultraviolet or whatever. The ultra, it like lights up or whatever in certain conditions of the day. I mean, I love it. It looks great. It feels great. It's lightweight. If you're fishing off the bank and you got a lot of tackle to carry, I mean, this is something you might want to look into if you're, you know, into the conventional reels or whatnot. This rod itself right here this year has caught about 50 sturgeon. You know, keepers, all released. You know, we put them all back. I don't really like to keep sturgeon. I've only probably tagged 2 my whole life, 3 maybe. Yeah, 3. I just do it for the sport, man. It's fun. This is one of my sturgeon setups, pretty basic. Phoenix Abyss 806 with the Penn Fathom 15 LD. That's one of my go-tos. The other one is almost the same thing. It's another Abyss. Taking off the reel covers. Another Abyss. This one I need to re-spool because we got it up in a snag before we left. Another one, Phoenix Abyss 806. This one I got it matched up with an Avid, a little custom 2-tone Avid that I got on here. This is the one that was in the water. I think it was in the springtime this year. We had a sturgeon hooked up to it, and it was crazy because I was finding sturgeon on my Seeker rod, one of my other rods, and we weren't even paying attention to this rod because I was fishing my 2 rods, you know, 2-rod license out there where we were at fishing. It was legal, and I looked away for a second, and when I glanced back over at this rod to make sure it wasn't getting hit, this rod literally lifted up, took off, and just, it was gone. So I figured, damn, sturgeon took my rod, he jacked me or whatever. That was pretty crazy. And then about 45 minutes later, I get another sturgeon hooked up on my Seeker. So I go and set the hook, and I'm fighting. It feels kind of weird. So I'm thinking, what kind of, you know, what's going on here? But I can feel some type of tension and some type of pull. I bring that rod in, and I see the yellow line from this one, my Maxima High Vis. So my pops, he grabs that line, starts bringing it in or whatever, and he's like, oh shit, your rod is still here. This rod comes back out the water in the boat, and I'm sitting here like, damn, that's crazy. You know, that's something that doesn't really happen to anybody. So I start reeling this one in, collecting my line or whatever, putting it back where it's supposed to be, and out of nowhere, this rod tugs again, the one that just got out the water. So I start reeling this rod in. Turns out the sturgeon that had first stole my rod was still on that hook. A barbless hook. For 45 minutes, he was swimming around the whole fucking spot, you know, with my rod, and it's, you know, pretty much he was carrying my rod. I got the rod out. It was crazy. It was one of those crazy stories I got to tell, and it's all on footage, man, so I can back it up. I ended up fighting that sturgeon, seeing it jump out the water. You know, it was crazy, you know. Eventually, you know, he spit the hook. But I got my rod back, and it was pretty fucking crazy. It's one of those good stories. I love these Abysses. It's running SX 5.3 Avid Dorado golden green setup. 806 Abyss, 8 foot. Also running 20 pound test. That's my 2 go-to rods when I'm out there sturgeon fishing anywhere on this side of the bridge, where you can fish a 2-rod license. 2-rod, you know, if you have your license. Now when I fish for stripers, people always ask me what my baitcaster setup is, what my rod is. Now I'm going to give a shout out to Glenn over there at Guns and Fishing. He actually hooked me up with this nice little rod right here. It's like an Okuma. Some reflections, not the highest end rod, you know, but it does what I'm out there to do, you know. I I got some J braid, multicolor strand, some braid. It's like 50-pound test, super thin. It's about the same diameter as like 8-pound mono. I got it paired up with a Tatula Type R. It's a custom Type R with a custom rail handle and a whole bunch of other good stuff in it. This is the 731. Caught a whole bunch of stripers on this guy right here. A whole bunch. Shout out to Glenn again for hooking it up with the setup. I'll be right back. We'll go grab some other stuff. Come here, Bush. Shy. This is how he's gonna take over the interview. You just sit here, boy, and tell him how you feel. All right, come on. Come on. Follow his Instagram at Alpha_ the Bull Terrier. Now over here, I gotta say is my favorite setup. Biggest striper I've caught this year was on this setup. Shy of 40 inches. It's like 38.5. What I have here is my Phoenix Recon rod. Phoenix Recon. I got it paired up with a Daiwa Zillion HD. Custom handle, I like to customize my stuff a little bit. This is the Daiwa Zillion HD, and this is actually I believe it's the 7.3, I think it is, 7.31. Beautiful setup, man. I love this reel. I can catch this thing a mile away, man, if I really wanted to, get it out there as far as I can. Super, super lightweight. It barely weighs anything. So here it is. This is my striper killer right here. I got my 2 bait catcher setups. I like to throw swim baits. I'm not too into the lures. I'm a bait fishing guy. I like to get on the boat, drop the line, and just sit back, drink a Coors Light, and do what it does. But yeah, man, those are just like my 4 go-to rods and reels. I mean, I got a whole crap load of setups. I spent a lot of money on fishing when I first got into it a few years ago. My lady's pops got me involved with the fishing and whatnot, and man, I just fell in love with the sport. You know what I mean? Kept me out of trouble, kept me out of, spending a shitload of money on other useless stuff. I know fishing's expensive, but man, it's a hobby and it's fun. Keeps me out there with, in the outdoors, with nature and whatnot. But man, yeah, that's my 4 setups. I get a lot of questions. People always ask me, man, why don't you just make a YouTube video and, show people what you run, because people always asking me in the videos and then on the DMs or asking me. So there it is, man. That's what I run. My 4 go-tos. Pretty simple. I love the setups for the money. You're not gonna, find something better for how much these things cost. I mean, if you're in the mid-range for spending on rods and reels, those are the ones. Alright, man, take it easy.